Hey everybody, Rare here, and I got myself a an old-fashioned brainstorming idea. I like to call these things rare conceptions. Anyway, it is kind of a mix here. We've got advanced genetics. Thank you, chicken, and we got the grinder. I apologize. I forget what mod that's part of. Mind Factory Reloaded. All right, as you can see though, we've got a kind of a mad science feel going. That's fine. That's what the Attack of the B Team's all about. But anyway, it's not that difficult. The problem I had was, I've seen people put their 16 block spawners, and the problem is they're tethered to that 16 blocks. And well, with this, as long as this is loaded, it's going to produce material. You don't have to have a wheat farm, or sorry, not a wheat farm, a meat farm, whether it be pigs or whether it be sheep, whether it be cows, or whether it be zombies. This here is set up that way. It can, as long as it's loaded, it's going to give you all the byproducts, and it's going to give you the mob essence. So I think it's a pretty cool concept. I've tested it out a couple times, and you don't want to use the auto the auto cards. Those are kind of buggy. But with this, it does produce very well. That is hot springs water that you have to use an amethyst bucket to collect. But I'm using a chicken to indicate or to show that, would you hush? To indicate that you can actually have anything in there and it not die. Obviously, whatever's not affected by water, of course. But they'll bounce back and forth. There's skin cells. They come over here to the DNA analyzer. And I've got the deep storage unit back here collecting the organic drops. Now, they have to come out the back, and that's something I learned. That was one of the hardest things about this whole design, was trying to figure out how that works. And for some reason, I just couldn't figure it out. And then it goes over here to an insulator, and then that insulator pipes it up over here to the cloner. Nobody messes with the cloner, and I don't know why. It seems to be one of the most powerful machines in the game, but no one seems to play with it. And I know that advanced genetics can get buggy, but and I realize it has its limitations. It's not like the auto spawner where you can get exact copies. But I mean, if you're wanting nothing but an animal farm or an animal grinder, this is a pretty cool setup. Like I said, it's as long as it's loaded and got power, it's going to work. Now, I have energy cells here just to provide power, but I mean, you can set this up to to any of your power plants. And I'm personally, I like the forget it or set it and forget it power plant by JSet. It's really effective. The only thing I added different to that one was I put one of those what were those rods? The item collector, the advanced item collector. I just stick it on top, so that way it collects everything. And then I have the storage unit, the deep storage units for the saplings and the apples. But anyway, that's somebody else's design. I'm not gonna worry about that one. But I got a couple helixes here, and well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. The helixes, it's really simple. Analyzer, obviously you need the skin cell. Analyze it, then you run it through the extractor. It needs to go into the decryptor, so that way it tells you what it is. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a special gene or not. As long as it's from that animal, it will be able to reproduce it in the cloner. And then you take that helix and then you put it into the DNA insulator. Obviously, these are set up for just this one, because it'll suck out the items and send it through there, which I guess if you put the helix in there, it will put it where it needs to go. But that's probably about the only really bad part about this is you have to go into the in where the cloner is to actually pull out the helix if you're ever wanting to change it. So then you can, like I said, you could get the blah 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 blah. Easy for me to say. The insulated helix. And you can actually put an anvil down and you can change their names. That's what I did. I have a villager helix and I have a sheep helix. I wanted to show that they actually can produce. Now, something that you might think about, and I thought about letting Generic B know about this one, is that you can set this up to where you can actually have these drop down into the smeltery and cook you up some emeralds. Mad science and all. But let's go ahead and start with a sheep. I'm going to, something else you can put the, if you're not wanting this to be a grinder, if you're wanting this to maybe mass produce, something like I did was we mass produced a bunch of iron golems, and we gave them more health, we gave them speed, we even put wool on them so we could shear them whenever villagers wanted to trade wool. All we had to do was just go get an iron golem. Of course, they were also able to do stew and everything. So we kind of abused it, I'm quite sure. But you just throw that sucker in there and then watch. All of a sudden, you got sheep. And there they go. See, that's simple. They'll just keep spewing out. As long as you're in the loaded chunks, or as long as it's in the loaded chunks, you got mob essence, you're getting meat, you're getting wool, and anything else like hearts and necromancy parts are going to come over here. So it's a pretty good deal. It's not bad at all. But oops. That is unfortunately one of the side effects, is I didn't make this wide enough. And that's one of the things I kept struggling with, is the dimensions of this. But as you can see, it's not horrible. Just have to make it a little bit wider. But I'll take out the sheep and put in the villager, just to, again, demonstrate. You can put iron golems in here and get an infinite amount of iron. I mean, if you can get Endermen, you got Ender Pearls for days. And again, you're collecting all kinds of... are they going to get... I'll be honest, I haven't tested a villager in the grinder, but as you can see, they're here. I did have them in a smeltery, but I guess they're not going to die because the grinder's not working like that. But anyway, you see I've got mob essence building up. And I'm not tethered to that thing. If I had those helixes in there, it would still be producing, and I'm definitely not within 16 blocks. Well, let me just go ahead and put that that sheep back in there. And I apologize for not having this out far enough, but as you see, it's a concept, and that's what I was basically wanting everybody to get a feel for. Is that it's just, it's a concept. I'm not going to do a tutorial on it. It's pretty self-explanatory. But, I mean, you can see the sheep are dropping. And, I'll let you look through it. I mean, it's not hard. It's not a difficult design whatsoever. And that's one of the other things it's so easy that I think it just got overlooked. But you got a holding cell, you got the three main pieces to the cloner, and then the cloner obviously just gets that into the grinder, and there you go. You can be out, even caving, as long as that's in the loaded chunk. You got mob essence for days. Well, y'all, I think that's pretty much all I had to show. Let me go ahead and get this back to daytime. But you know, take it, run with it, expand it, do whichever guys what you want to with it. It's not a bad design. Now there is one thing that I have noticed is from time to time, if you log out and log back in, the scraper may not auto start. Sometimes I go in there and I put a switch on it, flip it on and off, starts it back up, remove the power. You know, Attack of the B Team, it sometimes gets a little buggy with some of the power, but once you get that back up and going, I mean, it's gonna run while you, like I said. I guess I can't say it enough. It's definitely, as long as you're in the loaded chunks. I apologize. It's getting late, and I am about ready to go to bed. So, anyway, y'all have fun. Play it up, and I will talk at you later. Bye.